Who were the initial players that you think shaped you when you really started to say, this is what I want to do, I have to get serious? Were there models that inspired you that this is the path I need to go?
Yeah, but in a negative way, because all the young kids in the UK were latching onto the blues, and the blues train had been on TV. It was, I don't know if you've heard of it. It was this. It was a musical desert in England, and then suddenly, I don't know who did it, but they brought over Freddie King, B.B. King, Albert King, Terry Brownie, Terry Brown, what's it? Brownie and McGee. Oh, my brain's gone. All these amazing blues players, and they were on a train going around England, and they stopped at stations, got out and did a gig, and it was just phenomenal. And nobody had heard the blues, and guitar playing was sort of secondary to people playing R&B and soul on. It was nearly all saxophones, brass players were the sort of big instrument of the day, which is why I played sax. But it opened the door. But every kid wanted to play the blues. Everybody wanted to sound like B.B. King and Freddie King. And I just thought, I don't follow the crowd. So in many ways, it sort of took me away from the blues, because I didn't want to be just another sort of wannabe blues player. So essentially, I wasn't listening to any guitar players at all. But I listened to singers, piano players, sax players, flute players. I think from an early age I've looked at other music to influence me, and I think if you just go for the obvious, go and emulate other guitar players, what's the point?
Do you think those are the things that perhaps early on helped you stand out in terms of your playing? Because your playing is distinctive and it doesn't sound like a million other players.
Maybe. I don't analyse it, and I never have, and I never will. But I think it suited Ian, because I didn't know when I joined Tull that they were going to do a sort of right turn from the blues, and Ian had the foresight to think that the blues wasn't going to be a career music style, and he was writing his own songs, and he wanted to get completely away from it. So maybe he saw in me somebody who had no sort of preconceived style that he was really stuck in. I think we thought alike for a long time.
Was it an easy fit, initially when you joined the band, where you fit in terms of your playing, or was there some finessing that needed to happen before it really sparked?
Well, it was so new, and we spent Christmas of '68 learning all the songs that would become stand-up. But it was so different from anything else that was going on at the time that it was just different music. To me, the other guys in the band, and I think to Ian, he didn't know how it was going to develop. And then we went on the road in England to a few blues clubs, and they were expecting the blues, because that's the last time they'd seen Jethro Tull. They were a blues band. That's what we want to see. And then they got this other music, and they didn't like it. They visibly and orally didn't like what they were seeing and hearing. So there was this sort of period where, of course, they would look at me and think, well, the difference is we had a blues guitar player, Mick Abrams, and now we got this other guy. It's his fault. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to last long here. But there was one show, it was in Manchester at the university, and we played with Manfred Mann, and it was after about 4 or 5 shows, and they loved it, and we just like visibly breathed a huge sigh of relief, and that was the turning point.
RockCellarTV, 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 RockCellarTV.